Okay, we're gonna try this again because I love to just drop crap on the floor and try to break shit. So here we go. Part two. I'm gonna talk about Richmond last week and Martinsville this week. So Richmond is never ever good. I just never. I have enjoyed Richmond. It's always a terrible race, in my opinion. Um, it's just been all over bad. Um, and there was controversy like around the Xfinity race and that I got into last week in my previous video. So I won't get into that again. There's more drama from Xfinity yet again. And it includes none other than my boy Ty Gibbs, who people keep shitting on and calling like the early stages of Kyle Busch. I'm like, you people are all dumb. So I'll get into that in a minute. But the Cup race, I kind of elaborated last week that like we would know the winner by now, and we do. It's Denny Hamlin. He got his first win of the season, first non-20-year-old driver. So there's that. I have bags under my eyeballs, so we're gonna cover that up. I'm going to a Padres game today, so I'm going to try to look less dead. And I didn't go to sleep until maybe 11 o'clock last night. Usually that's not a thing for me because normally I'm like asleep at like 8 o'clock. But I was watching the rest of the race because I went out to lunch and we ended up just talking for like several hours. And no, it's not a date. It was just a new friend that took me to get some food. It was very, very good. So, but anyway, Richmond, like the whole race in general was just not good. I never have enjoyed Richmond and never will. Yes, there's been exciting moments at that track, but it's just the races overall are just not something like, oh, let's look back at this race and think how great it was. Like, it was the best race ever. And no one says that about Richmond. Let's just be real right there. No one says that. No one says, oh, let's look back at this great race from Richmond. No, they're all fucking terrible. So Denny Hamlin won. Whoop-de-doo. But like the only exciting part about that race is like Byron, who's been like on a hot streak lately this season, he finished third in that race, which amazes me because he was on super old tires, and they just left him out there pit, thinking that was going to be like the strategy call. It was a risky move, sorry, but it almost paid off. But 5 laps was the deal breaker there when Hamlin came and just like took it, and you thought like Mark Truex was gonna come and just take it all, but Hamlin came and just passed both of them. Martin Truex finished second? Yeah, second, I believe. But Byron finished at third on a risky pit strategy. Called like that was all this name of the game at Richmond, and like ours was all over the place. I had no idea what the hell we were doing. It's like either you pit or you don't. Split the stages. We have no idea. So instead of having like we had like a top 10 car, super good car, and then just went to crap. And there was some controversy about what was said on the radio between Alan and Chase, and it's like Chase is like, what happened to this car? It's driving terrible now. And he like dropped all the way to like 18th, 19th place at one point, and he finished 14th, which I'm like, this is hot garbage. But we still left, like we got stage points. We got solid stage points. So I finished 6th in both stages. So I'm not concerned about the point situation because he's leading the points right now. So there's that. And I'll get into the whole dilemma with Chase and Alan in a second. Like Alan fully knew what happened with Chase's car, but did not want to disclose it over the radio. So I was like, oh, I'll just tell you later. And I'm like, why don't you just share it now? I'm like, no, we're not entitled to that information, but as fans, we would like to know what the hell is going on with Chase's car, because it went from driving super well, handling well, and then goes to shit. It seems like that's the case every single week. So we finished 14th. Still, we were tied for the lead in points with Ryan Blaney, like at 241 points. Right now, we're sitting at the top of the leaderboard yet again, sole leader by 3 points above Ryan Blaney. William Byron, though, sitting third in points, Bowman in sixth, and I just love Kyle Larson slipping away. He's having a crappy season, and I love it. One win to his name and shitty finishes all around, and it's great. And if you don't like me for not liking your little godson of Larson, then that's not my problem. So, anyway, it's like, it just seems like that's the routine, the trend. Like, Chase will have a super good car and like get all these stage points and then have a shitty finish because something like handling wise goes off. It's like, but people want to blame bad pit stops and shit like that, and I'm like, no. Because Chase's pit crew is like one of the top pit crews on pit road, and it's like not uncommon for great pit crews like to have like off days and off whatever. I'm not picking on the pit crew. I'm just sometimes concerned about Alan's pit strategy or calls or just the way he talks to Chase as of late. And I'm sorry, I can't stop spitting. But it's like the last couple of weeks I was like, why? What's going on here? But I love Alan Gustafson. He's an incredible crew chief. But yeah, sometimes he does make questionable decisions on behalf of Chase's car, whatever. But you gotta realize he can only do so much from what the information Chase is giving him about his car. Like yesterday, Chase had a super strong car, led 185 laps, swept both stages, led every single lap on the first two stages. Then Byron took over because he got the lead off of pit road, which is, I don't really care. It's one spot. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that was the worst pit stop ever. Like, no, it happens. If you lose the lead at Martinsville, you're pretty much not guaranteed to get it back. Because last night, there was no guarantee of passing anybody at that point. Unless you just had a really crappy car and people are just passing you, then there's a problem. Like, weird pit strategy last night. Chase finished 10th, but struggled to get there because it took him 50 goddamn laps to pass Reddick, who was not the best car on that track, obviously. Chase had one of the faster cars, just couldn't get through traffic very well, or just no one could pass. That was a consensus between really every driver. Even Ryan Blaney was like, it was super hard to pass. Even if you had a strong run and you got to the back bumper, you couldn't get around the guy easily or just at all. God damn, it's hot in my freaking apartment, dude. I need the AC on. It's like, it is hot as hell in this building. Anyway, that was like what I thought of the whole thing. The race itself was just not good. And that's disappointing to me because that was one of the worst Martinsville races I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if it's just the car or it's just the package they're using. I have no idea. So it's just very confusing of what's going on with this track. And normally I look forward to Martinsville as a whole because it's usually a lot of excitement, drama, and like high, like tempers flaring, and like with an Xfinity race last like on Friday, and I'll get to in a minute. It was like a lot of tension, a lot of like back and forth, and there's a lot of cautions in that race, and there was like hardly any for like actual cause like or incident on track in the cup race. Besides like the stages, like there was no wrecks really at all. The only like extent was like someone slamming the wall. Ooh, caution comes out. Mark Truex had a flat tire coming off of pit road, which didn't make any sense because it's either ran over something or I'm like, how do you get a flat tire with one lug nut? I don't understand that situation, but so he was out of contention. So what was I getting at? But it was just super disappointing how that race just played out. Hendrick overall dominates that track every single time we go to this track. The 3 of the last 4 races at Martinsville, like we had Bowman, Byron, Chase is one there. It's 27 victories at this track, 10,000 laps led on this track by Hendrick Motorsports. I can't talk today. Hendrick Motorsports alone, and they were just fast all weekend. Truck Series, Byron went out and kicked ass. Won him a granddaddy clock. That's what I call him. His first win at Martinsville in like any series. So I was super exciting to watch him beat Busch in the Truck Series. That was fun. He earned that. And all this, like, I told myself this year, this is going to be Byron's breakout year. People were, like, talking smack, like, he's, like, the weakest link at Hendrick. Like, he's not consistent with his finishes. He can't win multiple races this season. Like, we have to see if this is the year, like, he breaks out and wins multiple races. And he's done that. Now, he went to Martinsville with no grandfather clocks, but left with 2 in a matter of 3 nights. So I'm super pumped for my boy Willie B, and it was super emotional because his mom was there, well, his parents, and like the race that they were at last year, the race at Martinsville last year, they found out his mom was like sick and like ill with had a brain tumor. She's fine now, but they've been dealing with her health problems for the last year or so. And to see her there at the race and watch her son win for the first time at Martinsville and his second win of the season, like 2 races in 8 races, is wild to me. Like, he won at Atlanta and he won at Martinsville. Like, Martinsville is not like easy to get around, and he held off Logano on the overtime race start, and that was just awesome. Like, and Austin Dillon, of all people, is like actually having a really good season. Like, he got top 5, like just second top 5 of the season in 8 races for RCR. The RCR talk today. God damn it. RCR has been running actually pretty well this season. besides their crappy luck sometimes. Austin Dillon has 2 top 5s in 8 races. He got one at, I want to say, Auto Club. Yeah, he got second at Auto Club and third last night, which is awesome because he was closing in on Byron before that caution came out. If the caution didn't come out, it was probably between Austin Dillon and William Byron for the win, guarantee. But we had a final restart. Logano gonna finish second, and my boy Willie B finished first, and Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain finished in the top five. Top five? No, Ryan Blaney finished in the top 5. Chastain finished in the top 10. I know that for a fact. Chase Briscoe finished 9th. Chase finished 10th, which I'm fine with, but because we're still the points leader by 3 points. Swept both stages, led all the laps in the first 2 stages, and so he looked like he had a really fast car all weekend, practice wise, qualifying. So he looked pretty solid. I'm not and people still want to knock Alan Gustafson and his way he has been talking on the radio and whatnot, and oh, he needs to be fair. What yeah, let's shit on the the crew chief who's gotten I don't know, this driver 13 wins so far, is the leader in points currently, swept both stages in this race, led 185 laps, and won a Cup championship in his 5th season of competition in the Cup Series at 24 years old. Yeah, let's get rid of the guy who is has the second most active wins as a crew chief in the series right now. So yeah, let's just keep throwing that snippet in and crapping on Alan for no reason whatsoever, just because you think he's holding him back. I don't understand that at all. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. But moving on, it's there's no clear actual favorite right now when it comes into the Cup Series. Yeah, you can say William Byron because he's actually the first repeat winner of the season. And Chevy's just building off where they left off last year with dominating the season. Hendrick is still running extremely well. Bowman finished in the top 12, and he wasn't really relevant all night. So he was back and forth all night in the top 15, and it was just, I don't think it was a good race at all for him, but it was solid enough for a top 12 finish, and he's top 10 in points, so he's clearly doing something right. So there's 3 Hendrick drivers in the top 10. Chase leading. Byron's 3rd in points. So clearly they're doing something right over there at Hendrick. And Chad Knaus was in the booth last night, which was awesome. And I think he brings so much life and actual knowledge to what's going on track, because he's been around the he just knows, and he never played he was never biased. He never said yeah, his pick was, I don't know, who was it, his pick to win was Chase, which was, yeah, looked great. People say, oh, he's just being biased. No, because as you saw, Chase was one of the fastest cars all weekend long, so you can't base that on bias. It's just facts that he was fast all weekend. But his knowledge on the sport is absolutely incredible. And I hope he comes into the booth often with Boyer because I think they mesh pretty well with their energy. Like Jack Knaus is super professional and like laid back and knows what he's talking about, while Boyer's just out there. And Boyer freaking yelled when the caution was like, "Gosh!" and like please yell that louder. Like Mike Joyce, like please yell that louder into my eardrum. So, but I just feel like that caution was a little unnecessary at the end. But either way, I think Byron was gonna win that race anyway. He was just super fast all night and finished second in both stages and led 212 laps, while Chase led 185. So Hendrick dominated. So that was about the gist. It was just a disappointing race. And for the Cup Series, that was just for the Cup Series. Xfinity race was just a whole different animal. They always have like, they're all over the place over there. So, what the hell is wrong with my compact here? There was some drama. I think this was a Dash for Cash race. Oh, I forgot who won the Dash for Cash last night, but what is going on with this thing? Because I didn't watch the Xfinity race because it got delayed at the beginning when it like started storming, and I had to sleep because of work. Let's try this again. So I was saying, I don't know who won the Dash for Cash because I fell asleep because I had to work the next, like, had to work that, like, morning, the next morning at, like, 2:30 in the morning. So I didn't want to be dead, so we did that. I woke up to drama on all social media platforms about Ty Gibbs and how he's a shitty person and how he needs to take his helmet off during a fight. I'm like, first off, I watched the video numerous times. And what I saw, people just hate on Gibbs just because the fact it's Gibbs, and they hate on any driver who has a famous like last name or just well-known name. So that's nothing new here, like at all. Like, yes, he kept his helmet on, but when I saw a replay of the fight and Sam Maris kept pushing him, like you can see Ty just freakishly just snapped. And normally he's not like the aggressive type of person, it seems like. Just, the good, godly Christian kid. They're like, the Christian kid can snap. Like, everyone has that moment where they can just lose it. And he did. And he had every right to be pissed off. He was just going over to talk to Sam Mary. Like, yeah, he like kind of touched him and be like, hey, I need to talk to you kind of thing. In no way was he trying to like start a fight. He just just pushed him and was trying to talk to him. Be like, hey, what's going on, dude? Like, what the heck is that about? Like, on track, Sam Merrick started some went 3 wide and kind of got Ty Gibbs up into the wall. So I understand the frustration there. Like, Ty Gibbs was on the other side of that, like when it came to winning at Richmond. Yeah. I don't know what my hair is doing right now. I look like a 12-year-old boy at this point. Actually doesn't look too bad. But anyway, that doesn't look too bad at all. Anyway, I should probably do I don't know. As I was saying before it got lost in my hair. What I saw was Ty Gibbs was going to go take up, like, he went and was reaching for the side of his helmet where he was trying to take off, like, his Hans device and just take his helmet off so he could talk to Sam, like, one-on-one without the altercation starting up. But that happened. But no one saw, apparently no one wanted to see that, and that little tidbit that I saw. Because I noticed the little details in these things, and he didn't want to fight with a helmet on. He didn't. He didn't even want to fight to begin with. He threw the punch because Sam America kept pushing and pushing and pushing him, like kept shoving, like constantly. I'm like, well, you're gonna ask for it. Like he was going for that, take off his helmet, but Sam America just kept pushing, and he just like snapped and just went for it. And so everyone was calling him a pussy and like crap, like stupid ass names, like he's a coward. And I'm like, dude, where was that energy when you guys were defending Kevin Harvick for keeping his helmet on at Bristol? Yes, I'm going back to Bristol from last year. So, I don't know what my hair's doing currently. Anyway, keep that same energy, people. Like, keep that same energy. You guys, like, went off on Ty Gibbs, but when it came to like Kevin Harvick, I was like, oh, it's perfectly fine. He's a veteran. He can keep his helmet on. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not playing devil's standards here. Like, anytime, like, a kid, like a driver who has the last name is always the one getting shitted on in these situations, helmet on or not. Chase took his helmet off. Harvick did not. So people gave Chase shit just for being a crybaby in the situation, but when it came to Ty Gibbs, he kept his helmet on because he was going to take it off, but couldn't because Sam Mayer is kind of a little punk, I should say. And people only went on his side just because they just personally don't like Gibbs, and I just feel like that's not fair to assess in this situation, since Sam Mayer started the whole damn thing, like on track. I'm not saying he started like the altercation, but he, like, Ty Gibbs literally just wanted to talk, and then it just went to blows. So it's like always the kid with the famous like driver or coach or whatever, like, that they're related to, is always the one that gets shit on the most in these situations when they weren't even at fault at all in the situation that was on track. Let me remind you that. So it's a double standard here. No one gave a crap that Harvick kept his helmet on and threw a little temper tantrum. Like, but you guys throw a little shitty hissy fit over Ty Gibbs just because he's expressing himself and stood up for himself after that race. So, I digress. People say he needs a reality check and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how so? He's acting the way any driver would react when you're pushing him multiple goddamn times, when he just wanted literally to talk about the situation that happened. So, I think I'm just going to do the rest of my face and we'll see how that goes. Take some makeup wipes with me and so I can put my hat on later. So that's what I'll do. So my hair actually looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, just need to cover these stupid zits on my forehead. Anyway, that's like my thing. Like, if you're gonna have that same energy towards one driver for keeping his helmet on accidentally because he was actually going to take it off, keep that same energy for when the other driver that you defended for keeping their helmet on. Yeah. So Brandon Jones ended up winning Friday night while there was like a wreck fest on track. I felt like the Xfinity race was delayed, just the same as the Cup race at the beginning. So we got a later start than usual, which is fine. But I did not really get to watch it. I'm going to have to rewatch the whole thing to see how everything played out. But Brandon Jones won, and he's another driver that people shit on a lot, just because they think he's like, oh, he's not good, he's not good, he's not good. He's been in the Xfinity for how long, and like there's drivers who's been in the Xfinity series forever, but it's only like when certain drivers that are young are like sitting in Xfinity series for a long ass time and has not like reached that potential of being able to get up to the Cup series. Like I realize in Toyota there's no room in the Cup series for like anybody, because all the seats are filled by like a few veterans and Christopher Bell and a little fake driver who thinks he's the face of the sport when he's not. So there's that little tidbit. So Toyota's just flooded with drivers in the Cup Series, and yeah. But congrats to him for getting the win. He's locked into the playoffs. People wanted to say like Coach Gibbs was not excited that one of his drivers won and was just pissed that his grandson didn't win. And people are like, think he's like playing favorites or whatever. I'm like, that's not even the case. Coach Gibbs doesn't show much emotion. Like, yeah, he'll smile a little bit, but he's not like disappointed ever when one of his cars win in any series, like Cup or Xfinity. So he was happy that now 2 of his cars are in the playoffs. So so you can't say that he's playing favorites when he's not. He treats all his drivers equally. So there's that. Ooh, that was a lot of contour in my hairline, so that's fun. I'm gonna be super bronzed, like right there, which is fine because I have a large ass forehead. Well, at least I feel like I do. But overall, the Xfinity race, from what I've heard, was really good. Dale Jr. made his one-off like appearance in that series. Finished 11th. He started in the very back, like 30th. So he made it through the carnage on that one restart where everyone like basically wrecked and turned into a parking lot. So that's fun. But he like stood on pit road after the race, had beers with a lot of the drivers and the crew members, and just had a hot dog, like Martinsville hot dog and whatnot. So I think that's pretty cool, and that's why he's like one of like the most popular drivers in our sport. Probably still very highly popular. Not probably still is still the most popular driver of like the entire NASCAR world, next to Chase. So other than that Martinsville was just so when it came to like the truck race was okay. It wasn't great. I want to talk about Haley Deegan for a second because she's having a shitty year. It's because these little boys on track, when I say little boys, I don't mean like by age. I mean like just driving wise, their ability to like control their race car around her really bothers me. Because they seem to drive stupid around her every chance they get. Like every single week. Like none of the things that's happened to her were ever her fault this year. Like you can guarantee it was not her fault. Maybe like certain things like were out of her control, but none of the things were like she finished 19th at Martinsville. And Sauter drove her up the track and he claimed he got loose, which I call BS on that. That's just Sauter being Sauter. And he took the blame for it, which is fine, but he lied about why he went through. He went straight into her, into the wall. And then she had an altercation, not like altercation, like an argument with another driver on pit road after the race, and she was pissed. Like her season has not gone the way we all wanted it to go. She has a top 10 capable of car like every single week. It's just these little boys who wreck around her or do something stupid to cause problems, and it's just very irritating to say the least. When something happens like that, and it's just it's just straight up because she's a female in the sport, and I think they're threatened by her. And people are like, why would they be threatened by someone who's only finishing like 15th to 20th every week? I'm like, it's because of these little boys who can't learn to drive properly, like ever, and it's very, very annoying. So I just feel like the truck series is just a big joke at this point. These drivers have made it into a joke, and I feel like if she wants to succeed, I feel like they need to move her up to Xfinity, and whatever car there is available in the Ford camp, because she's not progressing in the truck series right now, and it's just very aggravating because she has so much potential and she has so much going on. That poor girl has so much going on, and it breaks my heart that she has to deal with any kind of bullshit right now. Water everywhere. Yes, I'm in my bathroom, so what is going on here? Anyway, as I was saying, like she's going through so much like personal crap, with like the stalker situation, and she canceled like all her appearances and autograph sessions, and has to have like security around her at all times because you just don't know at this point. People are like, oh, it comes with a territory and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it does not. Being a psychopath freak stalker is not part of, oh, yeah, she's just, it's because she's a female in the sport. Like, it has nothing to do with that. Any person in the sport can have that happen to them. But it's just happening to her because she's a female. And they're going, like, threatening her boyfriend, which is not okay. So she is, like, on full, like, incognito mode with her life. And she had to cancel things. And it's just super inconvenient to her life. And it's really disappointing to have that happen. And I wish stuff would just stop happening to her, like negatively, and I hope her season turns around. But with these little boys driving, I don't think much is going to happen this year with her if they just don't get it together, because they've turned the series into a joke. I just feel like she'll have a little bit more success in Xfinity because she can be a little bit more aggressive there, and see where she. What the hell is happening over here? Casey Kane. Oh, it's Casey Kane's birthday, guys. That's so awesome. Anyway. That man does not freaking age, dude. He looks literally the same way he did like 10 years ago. And it's wild. And the son is super cute. Anyway. What I was saying. She does not deserve any of this hate, and I think feel like she can thrive a little bit more in the Xfinity series, because she's not gaining anything about, like, the truck series is not even mandatory at all. Like Ty Gibbs, he didn't even go through the truck series. He just went straight to Xfinity, along with Sam Mayer. He didn't even go through trucks at all. He went like through like what ARCA and like what K&N, whatever the hell that series is now. I went straight to the Xfinity series, like, and they're doing just fine. So I just feel like the truck series is not really mandatory. It's just there for people just to be there. Considering you got like 40-year-olds like driving like idiots and whatnot. So that's just my little tidbit. I think she would thrive more in like with a little bit more competition, and a little bit more sane drivers. A little like Xfinity, yeah, has some drivers that are kind of stupid when it comes to being on track, but it just comes with racing in any series for that matter. Even in Cup 2, there's some stupid people out there that don't need to be on track. Bubba. God damn it. This is not working. But it just comes with the territory in every series. But the truck series has become a huge joke, and these kids do not or drivers do not respect the equipment that they're in, and they just use and abuse it. And it's very disappointing. None of this is coming out the way I want it to. This is why I don't do makeup very well. But yeah, that's my little insight of the whole matter. Who won that race? Oh yeah, William Byron won the truck race, so that's fun. He won 2 grandfather clocks this weekend, which is freaking awesome. He's just been killing it on like the dirt side, like running these like, I don't know what they call it, like late models or whatever. Please correct me like what kind of cars he was driving in, but he's like one of these like short tracks, like it feels like almost every weekend he's doing something like racing related, because Mr. H is more open to letting their drivers do more, like in other series, to like get more seat time, which is awesome. It's been paying off so much, like with Alex Bowman going like running in the truck series for Coda, which paid off dividends for him because he finished second in the Cup race. That's his best finish in a Cup car on a road course. So, awesome. It's just not turning out how I wanted it to be. But anyway, I'm just glad Hendrick is letting them do more outside of the Cup series during season, so they can get more seat time, just be better. And it seems like it's paying off for all of them. I think Chase needs to follow suit because he's the only one that's like just right now just there. And I kind of feel bad for him in a way. So there's that. This is all wet. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We go to Bristol next week for the Bristol Dirt Race under the lights. Like I just don't understand at all about that concept. I know like dirt racing at night is common, and I'm like I get that, but I don't considerably like it. I just don't like dirt racing all that much, and I kind of agree with Bush on like this matter, and that's shocking, I know. But I think we should just axe the dirt racing altogether in this sport. Because it's just, what does it do for us? Like, and Jamie McMurray's like, oh, the clear favorites are always going to be Larson and Bell. I'm like, you realize there's other dirt racers in the field? Like, I don't know, Alex Bowman's run on dirt, Ricky Stenhouse, Chase Briscoe, you know. Christopher Bell and Larson aren't the only guys on track who know how to run on dirt and be successful. Plus, the last time we did this, last year, none of them did well or finished well, did they? No. Larson didn't even win. He didn't even run well. Bell, I don't know where he was, and Logano, a not dirt racer, won the race. So, oh, I have to tell you people, but Jamie McMurray has like literally horrid tastes when it comes to his commentary. So, and normally I like Jamie McMurray, but his takes lately have been god awful, like super bad. No, it was bad on this one too. So, like, there's those super unknowns with the new car and like how it's gonna play out, especially when it's gonna be at night. So we'll see how it goes. Like, you never know who's gonna win at this point of the season. It's like up in the air. And if you still think there's gonna be 16 different winners, I think you're gonna be completely wrong. Because we already got a repeat winner from the Hendrick camp, which is shocking. That's Byron, but not shocking at the same time because he's a damn good driver and has deserved all this success to begin with, and he's just had shitty luck. And now I feel like his full potential is being shown with his crew chief and his crew capitalizing on these wins. So I am happy for him. I need to order his die cast. I don't know if I ordered his Atlanta win die cast or not, but I need to get this stupid I feel like I should change my shirt, but I'm not entirely sure. It's gonna be kind of hot today. It's gonna be in like the 90s. Alexa, what's the temperature going to be in Phoenix?
Right now, in Phoenix, Arizona, it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, expect a high of 90 degrees. By the way, Melissa McCarthy can now tell you the weather, jokes, and more for a one-time purchase. To learn more,
Alexa, shut up! God, she's annoying. I don't need that extra information. Thank you. But anyway, Bristol Dirt, it's gonna be unknown. So that's pretty much all I have. I'm gonna upload this later because I have to go to church here soon. Next like 20 minutes. So let me finish up my makeup and I'll talk to you guys later.